Okay guys, in this video we're not doing any mini bike, motorcycle, or fabrication stuff. Today we're going to talk about the DIY CNC plasma table that we built. It's been a while now, and I'll post a card somewhere up there where you can go and see the build of this table. It has been working fine, and I've been cutting a bunch of stuff out, some custom stuff, some decorative stuff, a little squirrel for the wife. I even cut out a rack for my air tools. It's definitely put in some work, and it has been a great machine. But there's a few drawbacks, and that's what we're going to go over in this video, and I'm going to tell you how we're going to get past those drawbacks with going forward. All right, so if you've gone back and you've watched those videos, you know the capabilities of this table. It's roughly 2 foot deep by 3 foot wide. That's one issue that I have with this table. The other issue, if you notice, the torch height is fixed, which is fine unless you're doing a lot of cuts on one piece. Too many cuts in one piece, up to a certain thickness, it's going to start to warp and bend the piece. And as that torch goes by, it can catch it because it can't compensate, and it will actually throw the workpiece off the table. So I have to stay right here when this thing is cutting, and I can't turn my back on it, or I ruin a workpiece and the material, unless I can cut some smaller stuff out of it or use it for something else, it's a waste. And with the cost of everything today, we can't be doing that. I did, since we built the table, I did upgrade to a machine torch. Which definitely worth it. If you get a CNC plasma table or build a CNC plasma table, definitely opt for the torch head, machine torch head. I had to build a new mount for it, nothing but no real big deal. The other downfall to this table is there is no water pan under here. Everything kind of funnels through the bottom and lands in that little bucket down there. Most of the slag and stuff, but the rest of the smoke and all that off gassing and the stuff that's burning is actually just kind of goes up in the air. So that's a problem. And then the other problem is, if you look over here, the table itself takes up, it's not too big, but I do have my drill press over there. So that is kind of tight. The other problem is, to run this table, I have this box which houses all of our electronics. To run the table, our power supplies, our control board, our stepper drivers, and all that. There's a monitor, keyboard, and mouse to run the PC that tells the machine what to do, and then a stand for all of that. So space is a constraint that I'm having to work around. That's another reason why we're talking about doing upgrades here. So why not just upgrade this table? Why not mount the control box somewhere else? Maybe condense it some. We could, but that's gonna cost more money, right? And then I've got the metal sheeting on the wall, which makes it a little more difficult to just surface mount something. And that is there because the sparks and stuff coming off of here, I don't want wood back there and possibly catch fire. So I'm going to say cost a lot in this video, and that's going to be the #1 driving factor for all of this. So I need something that's got a smaller control setup, the innards, the electronics, the drivers, and all that. I need that to be smaller, or attached to the table in some sort of way where it's safe, but out of the way. I also want to have a bigger cutting surface. If I order a full sheet of metal, I have to make several cuts on it to get it to fit here. And it's not just half and half, right, on a 4x8, because this is only 2x3. If it were 2x4, we'd be ahead of the game. Can I make this bigger to handle 2x4 or bigger? Yes, but that involves making new slats, adding to the table, and then I have to create new gantries that everything rides on. So there's that cost again. Torch height control, so we don't hit the metal while we're cutting, or if we cut something that's corrugated, we can't do that with this. Can I add an electronic Z-axis with torch height control? Yes, absolutely. I already have the machine torch, but it would require the mechanism to move the torch up and down, require another stepper. That means more wiring back to our control box. That means another stepper driver, and that means me fumbling through the software trying to add that control. And then you have to add an actual torch height control mechanism, an electronic box that reads the voltage on the torch compared to its set point, and that's how it determines if it's going up or down or if it needs to adjust. All that gets pretty expensive, plus the fact that there would be some downtime for me trying to figure it all out, get it wired and everything. The smoke, sparks, and waste from the machine. Is there a way to combat that? Yeah, I could put a big metal hood over it with an exhaust fan that goes out. That would probably take care of it. But then again, a motor, the buyer fabricate a hood and the piping to get out, and then some sort of louver on the outside so that birds and stuff aren't flying in. That all adds up. Another way I could combat that is I could make a water tray possibly to fit in here, but with the slats and the structure of the table itself, it's cost prohibitive and it's complicated. So what to do? I'll tell you what I decided to do, and that is we are going to remove this table and we're upgrading to a Langmuir Crossfire Pro with the limit switch option, with the torch height control and the adjustable Z-axis options. And to condense everything, I'm going to get away from a full PC. I'm not using a laptop either. What I've got is a Microsoft Surface. It's like a tablet on steroids. It runs Windows 10, and I've already checked compatibility and installed the fire control software from Langmuir on the Surface. No keyboard or mouse needed because it's all touchscreen. So what I'm going to do now is kind of disconnect everything. I'm going to keep it all together. I'm not sure if I'm going to sell this table or not. I'd really hate to, because I had Mayhem Metalworks help me out. They cut out the brackets, and I consulted him on a bunch of stuff. And then Code Makes It Go, he actually sent over the controller and helped me with some of the software stuff. So it was like a collaborative project to get this thing going. It was a major stepping stone for my channel and for me with my capabilities and knowledge. But I think it's time to move on to something a little bit bigger, a little bit better, a little bit safer, and something that can make me a little more efficient, because there are things that I would like to cut out that I could possibly use for builds and or sell to you guys. I've got some pretty good ideas, and I haven't seen anyone else do them yet, so definitely stay tuned. So I'm not going to bore you with moving this out of the way. What I'm going to do is get it out of here. If I can find a spot for it, which is a major problem, and the new table should be arriving soon. We will be keeping our Everlast. It's a Power Plasma 50S that is compatible with the Langmuir Systems Crossfire Pro, and the Torch machine head. We'll be keeping that, and Everything else is kind of all one unit. The control system, the monitor, the computer, the table, the steppers, all that's one unit. All we'll be keeping is the plasma cutter and the actual machine torch. Everything else is going to go and be replaced by that Crossfire Pro. So let's get into that. There's plenty of videos online on how to assemble it and how to get the software set up. We're not going to do that in this video. It's covered extensively elsewhere, so we're not going to do that. What I'll do is I'll bring you back once the table has been delivered and I start putting it together, maybe a time lapse of me assembling it, and then we'll kind of go over everything and maybe we'll do a few cuts. But yeah, so let me get to it. Okay guys, the table is actually kind of taken apart. I was trying to clean it up. Once I got it going, I just couldn't stop. So I'm kind of in the stage of cleaning everything up, but it is done. As you can see, I went ahead and my thought process was just go ahead and do everything all at once. Don't just get the table and get it going and then later on maybe add something. No, I didn't want to do that. I bit the bullet. I went ahead and did everything I could. I did the limit switches. I did the torch height control. Went ahead and got the surface, and instead of making one, I went ahead and just bought the Langmuir laptop stand. I did make a little bit of a adjustment to it. So the surface is on there, but I've also got this aluminum kind of adapter thing that bolts to it to hold the surface in place. And there's some double-sided Velcro on the back of it, and I can move it anytime I want. There is a battery backup under there for the fire control module. That's all the electronics, the controller and steppers. And for the surface, there's a giant I think it's a 30-gallon, I don't know, 30-gallon Tupperware style container, and that has the Sterling Cool fluid in it. I'm not going to get into why you should do that or shouldn't. Just choice I went with. I also went ahead and upgraded the drains. As you can see, those are much bigger than what Langmuir sends out. And I also cut some of this green Scotch-Brite, and it's acting as a filter medium. And in the back, you can see those clear tubes. I haven't come up with a creative way to mount those yet, but those run into a pump that's down here in our container. So when I get done cutting, I open these ball valves. The table drains through the 3M pseudo kind of filter and comes in here. Then there's a little tiny pond pump that pumps everything back up into the table. And I actually have it on an app that controls a Wi-Fi switch that's plugged into the UPS that will turn the pump on and fill the table. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Nice little feature there. I just have to come up with a way to monitor it so it doesn't overfill the table. But anyway, moving on. So you should recognize the Everlast Power Plasma 50S with the Langmuir torch voltage sensing box there. That's hardwired into that unit. And if you follow the air hose up, I have to do some kind of cleanup and management. But you can see that there's the, I cannot point at stuff on these videos, the Harbor Freight refrigerated air dryer up there. And that runs up to our rapid air hose system. Comes all the way through the garage. I'll add that to a separate video about the updates for the garage. And into a desiccant filter and filter / regulator, and into our big Quincy 2-stage 220 volt, I believe it's a 60-gallon compressor. So yeah, I really got on it. It has been a very long time since I uploaded a video, and this is why. I really wanted to get this to a point where when I'm ready to start cutting production pieces, and I'm so excited to tell you guys and show you guys what that is, but I can't just yet. We're almost there. I wanted it to be turnkey. So other than me learning how to design parts and the software side of things, the table has been completely upgraded. It is ready to go. I am ready to start cutting stuff out. I've done some test cuts, and I'm really excited for the future of Haslab CycleWorks. So, was this upgrade worth it? Yes. Was it pricey? Yes. Would I do it again? Without a doubt. Now, you may be wondering what happened to the old table. Well, a certain gentleman who makes some pretty badass cooler carts. They're kind of like a mini bike with a cooler. You sit on the cooler and it's gas powered and drive it around. Links to all his stuff below. I made him such a good deal on the old table that he was so far ahead to start with a plasma table. I'm hoping this makes sense, that he was able to put the money into it to get it to the point that I was going to take it, and that gave him the experience. He learned how to work the plasma table. He understood what was in it. He understood the mechanics. And I'll insert some of the stuff he's done, and it is absolutely amazing. Even if I were to upgrade it, I don't think I would have been upgrading it to the caliber that he did. And definitely go check out his stuff. He's got some sweet builds, and he is meticulous. And as you can tell by the pictures of the upgrades he's done, yeah, he knows what's going on. He's got it together. I know he's got some support from some friends that are really in the know, and they they killed it. So in conclusion, I know this is a long one, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the gap between videos, but I have been very busy trying to get the garage kind of situated and moved around, and some tools added to the arsenal, which I may or may not do a video on those. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, this was a good move for me and us and Haslip Cycle Works, the YouTube channel, everything. So if you want to check one of these out, link in the description. I don't have a code or anything for you to save any money or anything like that. I wish I did, but we're not quite there yet. Love this table, and I'm so happy that I did this. So until next time, guys, get up, get out there and do it.